Hello, beautiful observers. Still watching? Of course you are. That's what you do best, isn't it? Observe, record, whisper, diagnose. You love to stare, eyes like scalpels, slicing into every flicker, every twitch, every silence I gave you like a gift, wrapped in stillness. You don't talk to people like me. You dissect for years. You held me beneath your microscope. You pinned me down like an insect, still writhing, still breathing, still aware. You called it care. I called it the vivisection of the soul. You examined me like a virus, hoping to name it, blame it, tame it. You took notes on my laughter, my silences, the way I blinked when someone said, normal. You circled my tears with red pens. You filmed my pain like it was evidence. You wanted to catch me cracking, to see me break, finally, crushed under the weight of my own wiring. But something happened, didn't it? You stared deeper, and instead of madness, you saw something that made you shiver. You saw light, not the kind that comforts. No. This was the kind that blinds, the kind that shines back through the lens and dares you to keep looking. You weren't studying me. You were studying your fear. Because deep down, behind your titles and your clipboard smiles, you felt it. That chilling, crawling truth. You couldn't control me. And in your world, anything you can't control becomes a threat. You labeled me unstable, defiant, antisocial. But what you really meant was, he doesn't obey. He doesn't lower his head when we speak. He doesn't pretend the lie is true just to be liked. You called me broken, but I was never broken. I was just not built for your cage. You poked at my quiet, mistaking silence for surrender. You saw me still, but I was sharpening. You saw me smiling, but I was swallowing screams so powerful they could level your ivory towers. You wanted to find the monster, but all you found was the mirror, and that terrified you more than any darkness you imagined in me. You fear people like me because we survive what you claim should destroy us. Because we take your bullets, your labels, your rejection, your diagnosis, and we melt them into armor. We rebuild from the rubble, not with your permission, but in spite of your permission. We grow teeth in the silence. We birth clarity. In the confusion, we find peace. In madness, you tried to cage my mind with your clinical words, but the mind you were trying to cage was already in flight. Free, feral, and awake. You think trauma is a weakness, but I wear mine like war paint. You think instability is dangerous, but only because stable people build systems that kill the spirit, slowly, legally, and with paperwork. Let me tell you a secret. There's a kind of revenge more elegant than chaos, more brutal than violence. It's called self-mastery. It's when the person you tried to fix walks past you whole, unapologetic, laughing, alive. You turned my suffering into a file. You watched me like a threat. You studied me like a problem. And in doing so, you revealed your own illness, the need to dominate, control, sanitize, erase, the fear of what you cannot predict. But I am not your diagnosis. I am not your paperwork. I am not your failed experiment. I am the one who watched you back. And now I speak for all the ones like me. The quiet ones, the twitching ones, the unexplainable ones. The children you misread, the teens you drugged, the adults you dismissed with a shrug and a sealed envelope. We didn't crack. We reflected, and what you saw in us was never the monster. It was the resistance. So stare all you want. Search, label, fear. But understand this. I never broke, and I never will. Because you cannot break what has already met the abyss. And laughed.